Okay, so for the month of October, rather than killing myself to write a bunch of scripts I wasn't ready for, we're just going to watch a bunch of movies and talk about them. Now, Amber, being the only other person I know who's into horror movies, I need to meet more people like you, because that is a major failing in my life, has a wide selection of movies that I have not seen.
Oh, by the way, she's also got the one you added to the list.
Which one?
Puppet Master.
Puppet Master?
She's got like all of them.
I got the 9-part collection.
Yes,
it's up there.
Oh man. Okay. Well, then I don't have to. Oh, like bringing that over was going to be such a hassle. It's a DVD box. But today we saw Dracula 2000, starring a shitload of people.
Yeah, like
Gerard Butler, the lady who played 7 of 9. A bunch of recognizable actors. Who was like the hero guy?
Johnny Lee Miller. Johnny
Lee Miller of late 90s fame, and that's about it.
And Elementary nowadays.
Oh, now Elementary, yes. That is a swerve. I did not realize that now.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
oh wow, Skywalker Sound.
Yeah, Dracula wakes up and he's on a plane. Oh, Omar Epps from House. They're on a plane because they stole his coffin from, like, just the shittiest antiquities dealer ever. And they crash land in New Orleans, or just outside of it, and then vampire shit happens.
Yeah, and then the movie just kind of keeps going with that.
Yeah, and, god damn it was a fun movie. Wasn't scary, and sometimes it was fun for the wrong reasons. We were yelling at the screen sometimes. Or I was. I've never seen this before.
I mean, I did it a couple times.
Yeah. What was your joke?
I said duck, and that's not a duck, it's a wolf.
Yeah.
And then when the news anchor said New Orleans, I said, "You, sir, are an imposter."
Oh god, and that was the point where she's prepping herself. Is like, all right, you got the swamp, you got the sun, you got my tits. I was on the verge of saying you got my tits. I'm like, this movie has really good comedic timing, and it's not a comedy. Like, there's a bit where, like, a guy opens Dracula had a mask on in his coffin, and he escapes deeper into the plane, and he drops the mask on a guy, and it bonks his head. And it's like, anything in here? Bonk! Ow!
It was like, we swear some of the comedy was intentional, some of it wasn't.
It's associated with Wes Craven, but it's directed by someone who... Fucking My Bloody Valentine is the only other thing on the list that you probably recognize.
Yeah.
So we got sexy, skinny Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Pre-Beefcake phase.
Like, this came out in 2001, so early Gerard Butler. This is one of his first things ever.
Everyone is having just, like, except for Johnny Lee Miller, is just having the time of their lives.
Yeah, you can tell they are having a blast by their acting.
Like, the sexy lady vampires are vamping it up.
And and Johnny Lee Miller has a lot of the,
What is happening?
Like it would be, I'm too old for this shit, but he's not.
No, in fact, Nathan Fillion is in this movie.
Yeah.
As a priest.
Who feels like he would have been a much better choice given his later career path for the I'm too old for this shit antiquities dealer. God, it's just such an odd little movie. It's very late 90s, early 2000s.
But in a good way.
Yeah, I think you can definitely say that this is the kind of movie that happened before 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11 was a blow to the American psyche, and something this hammy and fun and stupid just doesn't really get made much anymore.
Yeah.
Oh god, I don't even know where to where do I talk? What do I talk about with this movie?
Inexplicably fast crossbow training.
The weapons are like dumb and like. For some reason, like, the vampires are, like, superpowered, but still, like, a guy with a stick can take them out.
Yeah.
Dracula... Okay, this was actually pretty clever. Dracula is, Judas. Like, the vampirism is his curse for betraying Jesus. Which... Jesus Christ, God, why are you being so... You made him betray Jesus!
Yeah!
and then you punished him for doing what you needed him to do?
And he brings that up in the film. He said,
you needed me to do this.
You were meant to die. You needed me to do this. What the hell?
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, wow, like, there's so much wrong with, like, the Judas, like, mythos when you take into account that God is all-powerful and all-knowing and planned for this shit.
Yeah. But I do think it's an interesting twist because it explains some of the weirder elements of vampires that never get explained.
Yeah.
Like the silver. The reason he doesn't like silver is because of the whatever amount of pieces of silver Judas was given to betray Jesus.
I always liked that. I always liked that element for this movie because it went that route and no other movies went that way before.
I think there are some other movies, but they not vampire movies, though I should say. There's quite a few movies about Jesus, how Judas is such a fascinating like story when you look at it from his perspective, and not the perspective of the Jew haters who love the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
I.e., Mel Gibson. Yeah, when you don't look at it from that kind of perspective, Judas is a tragic figure. But no, I don't think I've ever seen it done with vampires. The oldest, normally they go for Vlad the Impaler,
which I mean is the historical,
inspiration.
Origin.
Yeah.
And there was a picture of Vlad in the movie.
Yes.
Somewhere.
It was in the note pages.
Yeah.
Helsing specifically made it that Dracula or Alucard was like a slave boy of the Turks and like grew up to be a warlord. And there was never really an explanation given for where he got his powers, but that's like who he was. Huh. I'm trying to remember if there was an explanation for his powers. It is hard to give an explanation of Dracula's powers that makes any sense. What? Are you okay?
Yeah, my glasses are falling apart.
Okay.
I'll just switch.
So yeah, this movie is very, very 90s nostalgia, because there's just so... Virgin Records paid a shitload of money to be heavily featured in this movie.
Yeah.
The music is very new metal.
Mm-hmm. Dracula is a fan of Monster Magnet.
Yeah, there's a part where there's a Monster Magnet video playing on a screen. He just looks up at it fascinated, and he goes, brilliant.
Well, because it's blaspheming the Christ imagery.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of women with their tits out.
Yeah.
But it's Mardi Gras, what do you expect?
No, I meant in the video, but yes, in the movie too.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Slim Gerard Butler is a lot sexier than Beefcake Gerard Butler.
I beg to differ.
Really? Really?
It's Gerard Butler. He's sexy anyway.
Okay, fine.
He could have a beard down to here and still be sexy.
He did have a beard down to here at one point, didn't he?
No.
I feel like he played a character with a beard like that.
He had a pretty hefty beard in 300, but it wasn't
It was like
that.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it
it was
wasn't
like
that.
it was a face beard. It wasn't
Yeah.
a chest beard.
But no,
It wasn't Ken Doll.
one of my favorite moments is, he's got, I think Omar Epps has like got him pinned down. He pulls up a cross and he goes, "Sorry, man, I'm an atheist."
There's so many questions raised by that exchange.
But it's funny because then he squeezes the cross a certain way and a knife comes out and he's like, "Oh."
Oh well, shit. Yeah, no, it's one of those movies where they kill off a bunch of the starting cast, but then they stick around as vampires.
Yeah.
There was some clever stuff with mirrors and video cameras not picking up Dracula.
Yeah.
Especially how Van Helsing originally captured Dracula. There's this whole thing where he's like using... that was my favorite part. Okay, so Van Helsing, who is Maria's daughter, or Mary's father, who's been keeping like Dracula locked in his cellar for 200 years or whatever, has he's been using leeches to suck Dracula's blood and then using the blood from Dracula to keep himself alive.
Until he can figure out how to kill Dracula.
Yeah, but he hasn't figured anything out yet.
Because all the individual ways to kill vampires don't work.
Yeah, they do not work on him. But, so, the thieves who broke into the antiquities vault expecting there to be, antiquities and not a corpse. First of all, they lose 2 members to spike traps.
Yeah.
So we're already doing some pitfall shit here. But they get the coffin out because they're like, well, there's got to be something in here. You don't lock something up like this unless there's something.
Yeah.
And they're on the plane. They're trying to open it. One guy figures out how to open it. He's like, there's just a corpse in here. So he's like poking around the corpse trying to find the valuables. And he, for no reason that I can imagine, he decides to spatula with a crowbar one of the leeches off of Dracula's body. And it flies into his face and latches onto his upper eyelid. And the next 30 seconds is him just yanking on it. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, I think it was supposed to be gross out, but it was just funny.
Yeah, just the way it was presented was amusing.
It was funny as hell. And then he gets the leech off and he just goes right back to poking around the corpse.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, stop!
You just lost a significant amount of blood.
Go talk to the other people on the plane about what you found. But no, he's the dumbass with the curly hair.
I do think it was interesting, they only used the bats like once.
I think the animal transformation effects were expensive.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the wolf didn't look horrible.
The bats didn't look too good.
I mean, the bats didn't look great, but...
And the mist effects were pretty bad.
But, I mean, this is early 2000s.
Yeah,
so.
and I give it shit for having bad effects, but they were judiciously used.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot more wire work of them, like, leaping and, like, levitating. So that all worked. Like, you got the impression that these were magical beings without them having to do a lot of really impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mary is having, like... Because Mary's got Dracula's blood in her from her father. She's having, like, sexy visions. Oh, God.
Like every time he feeds, she has a vision.
Oh, God. He goes into the Virgin record store, and it's like he walked into a strip club.
Like there are no dudes, no unattractive women.
They're all skinny 19-year-olds who are just eye-fucking him.
Yeah, like...
It was something else. This movie's a lot of fun. Like, you gotta be in the mood for it. Like, do not expect, like, a proper horror movie. But it's a surprisingly good vampire movie.
Yeah.
So, that was what I thought of it. You two have seen it many times before, I assume.
I've seen it once before. Well, okay, I saw the end of it once before, and then saw the whole movie more recently.
And it's in Amber's collection and has sexy guys in it, so I assume there are many Gonna leave that there.
She's got a lot of strong brother movies.
Do you have The Ugly Truth?
I do.
Yes. She's even got Gamer.
Why?
Because he was in it,
That
and I thought
movie-
it would be good, but he couldn't even say
That
it.
movie is so bad.
Yes.
Okay.
She
I was
realizes
in
this.
Listen, I was in high school. I liked Gerard Butler a lot. Okay, so let's just leave it.
Okay, fine. We'll leave it at that.
So, I take it you like this better than Dracula Untold, given how you thrashed that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, Dracula Untold did interesting things with the canon, and was a fine action movie, I'd say. But it wasn't interesting. Like, this was interesting. Stuff was happening. It had visual, like, flair. The actors were all doing exactly what this needed, except for Johnny Lee Miller, who was fine. It's not like he was bad or anything, but if all the other actors had been on kind of his level, like on his wavelength, this would have been a much worse movie.
Yeah.
But most of the other actors were, like, leaning into the, like, they're playing it serious, but it's all that sort of, like, hyper-stylized seriousness. Very, soap opera.
Yeah,
is what
it was-
everyone else was doing soap opera.
It was well acted. I mean, almost everyone in here turned in a good performance.
Almost everyone is from other things.
Yeah, that's the other
what's-
thing.
That's what's wacky about it. Like, you're sitting through this movie and you're like, oh, is that Nathan... I made a joke! Oh, look, it's Nathan Fillion. And you're like, and Amber's like, yeah, that's him. And I'm like, I was kidding! I just thought it looked vaguely like him. Apparently it was him.
And like Vitamin C is in this.
Vitamin C?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That was her musician name.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The lady who
Graduation
pointed out at
Yeah.
Virgin.
Yeah, and she was stalking her own records. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Buy it.
Yeah, buy Virgin Mobile and you can get a special, like, Sparrow in Destiny 2.
Well, if you have it, because I don't think it exists over
Also,
anymore.
if you live in Britain.
Yeah, it was specifically Virgin UK.
So yeah, Dracula 2000, fun movie. I don't know what we've got planned next. These two are going to get through the Treehouse of Horrors. Not all of it, but some of it.
Most of it.
Most of it. We got like a nice list. Jay will join us for some of that. Not too many because it's a drive. And either way, we do this. Like
Yeah.
if we come here, you two come down. It's a drive.
It's still a bit of a haul for anybody.
It's a haul. It's a haul.
That's why we do double features.
That's why we do double features. But today, just this one.
But yeah, I mean, definitely check out Dracula 2000.
Yeah, no. Did you like Hackers? You'll probably roll with this.